In Sabah, the local authorities were established through provisions under the Local Government Ordinance 1961. It has stated the outlines and the responsibility and function of local councils in Sabah. Besides, the Local Government Ordinance 1961 is the reason for Sabah's district and municipal constitutions. Also, roles and functions of communal organs are manner administered by this ordinance. Then, this ordinance might be cited as the Local Government Ordinance 1961 and will enter to impact on a date to be appointed by the Governor by notice in the Gazette. It was required an establishment of authorities which is dependent upon the arrangement of this ordinance, the Yang di-Pertua Negeri made by instrument distributed in the Gazette. Furthermore, it also required the certificate of establishment as soon as practicable after an instrument providing for the establishment of an authority. Lastly, this local government ordinance has characterized the role of all authorities in their local government.
For the first function provision of local government Sabah is urban areas, street and public place. For this provision, it refers to the section 38(1) of local government ordinance that explain about the authority has general management and maintenance of all general control and public spaces such as playgrounds, parks and gardens in their term of their facilities. Besides, this provision also can refer to the section 38(2). That means authorities are empowered to erect and maintain in any square of public place or building for public purpose. For example, Sabah has economy is with assistance from the federal government. This is because federal government is implementing several stimulus packages and rehabilitation plans to develop Sabah as rural areas. Next is the function is about power to accept gift. Refer to the section 36 of the local government ordinance. Sabah local government has right and jurisdiction to accept gift or property in the form of contribution or financial from any source, which means it can be used to carry out community-wide maintenance and improvement projects such as improving the quality of public infrastructure and providing economic support, particularly to the poor in rural areas. For example, the Ministry of Health has contributed Rm 44 million to provide many health facilities in Sabah, so that with this contribution, the local government can increase personal protective equipment, medical supplies, and medical equipment to improve the health of people and upgrade the facility in the hospital in Sabah.
Lastly is power to contract. The function of Sabah authority that have the power to this contract making us state in the Sabah Ordinance 1961, which is the authority may enter into the necessary or desirable contract to perform any its function below or any other ordinance. According to Ordinance Sabah, the authority may not enter into the contract which is a greater value than the amount directed by the Cabinet in respect of such authority without the prior consent of the Minister or the Cabinet, as the case may be. Any contract entered into the authority shall be concluded in the ordinance with its standing order or in the absence of such contract, in accordance with the Minister's instruction, and in the case of the contract for the procurement of goods and material or the execution of work worth 2,000 ringgit or more, such standing order or dictate directive shall require the notice of the authority intention to enter into the contract be given. This also states that any contract or tender made by Sabah local government must have ministerial approved and be legally signed. However, no publication notice is required under this contract. For example, on October 14, 2018, Sabah Local Government Authority, including the Deputy Minister of the Public Work, completed the handover ceremony for the Mandalipau National School Completion Project, PAPA, which is among the projects in the Sabah for the construction and upgrading the poor school using industrial building system (IBS) method. This process allowed the local government to obtain the best contract for the state government by submitting tender quote for the year of the state local government website, which this will make it easier for the state government to choose the best contractor among the best, as well one who is suitable for the tender. This demonstrates how important it is for the local government to have the authority to select contractors to implement their initiative, because it not only affected the area under the administration but also giving a positive perception among the community if the program or function is implemented well and benefit the company.
The first financial provision in Local Government Ordinance 1961 is estimates of authority. Every authority needs at least 3 months before the expiry of each financial year to pass detailed estimates of the revenue and expenditure of the authority for the following financial year. The estimate shall be passed at a gathering of the authority specially common for the reason. Furthermore, no authority shall incur expenditure which has not been included in such approved assessment besides with the sanction of the minister and any member. Moreover, the annual and supplementary estimate shall be prepared in such form and shall contain such detailed information as the minister may require. Also, the approval of the annual and supplementary estimates by the minister shall be recorded in the minutes of the authority to make it easier for the minister to make a plan and predict the outcome of the revenue and expenditure of authority for the next financial year. For example, in Sabah, they have Sabah Ministry of Finance that responsible in estimates the expenditure and revenues of the authority. Their goal is to achieve financial stability through reasonable financial management and sound investment that will support Sabah economy.
After that, the Local Government Ordinance of 1961 includes fees as one of its financial requirements. They contribute at least 10% of a municipality's total revenue. The authority has the authority to collect fees for every license or permissions it issues under any written legislation, such as a vehicle or motorbike license. The authority has the authority to set fees, but they must be approved and relevant to the general public, so that the government of Sabah may be able to rely on fee collecting as a source of revenue. Furthermore, the money raised from facility service fees, license fees, and permits expenses will be put to good use in the economy, so that the government will be in control of this because they are the one in charge of the overall development. For example, in Sabah, the money might be used to cover the expense of recouping the cost of new roadways in urban areas, because urban areas have a large population and the street must be acceptable for people to use.
For the audit of account, the Internal Audit Division was established in 1981 under the jurisdiction of the Sabah State Treasurer's Department until 30 June 2000. Prior to 1981, this division was known as the Inspection Unit, which functioned similarly to perform the duties of the Sabah State Treasurer, in line with Treasury instruction as follows. The audit will be carried out in accordance with the Minister's instructions. For the purposes of any audit or examination of accounts under this ordinance, the auditor may require the production before him or them of all books, contracts, accounts, documents, and more. Any person who fails or refuses any of that is liable to a fine of 100 ringgit for each failure or refusal, plus a further fine of 50 ringgit for each day the offence continues after he has been convicted.
For the conclusions, the powers provided to the Sabah local governments were detailed in the Local Government Ordinance of 1961. The power that has been granted to them must be used effectively for the benefit of the community in Sabah. For example, according to the Ordinance functions provisions, the local government in Sabah has general management and maintenance of public place. It also has the authority to receive gifts in the form of financial assistance or property and to establish contract, among other things. Aside from that, the financial provisions contained in the ordinance grants the local government of Sabah a modest financial power to handle their own revenue. For example, the authority estimates, the authority to collect fees, and audit accounts. Therefore, they must efficiently employ the power that has been given to them for the good of the community. As a result, it should encourage the state's economy and growth so that Sabah can catch up to the rest of Malaysia in terms of development.
Thank you for watching my video.